Super Sons number 12, Peter J. Tomasi and Patrick Gleason writing, Tyler Kirkham on art. This is the conclusion to the Super Sons of Tomorrow. It is largely an epilogue issue. The crisis itself was kind of dealt with at the end of last issue with future Tim Drake, or Saviour as he was going by, kind of sacrificing himself, who is now stranded in the timeline. And everyone gets a glimpse of it, actually, because they mention that they all get to see it. And we actually see this...
psychic link.
Again, it's a double-page spread. It's a lot of the same things we saw the last time when we saw it, with all the crisis and various things.
A little bit clearer, though, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. A bit clearer, but it's all the same. I mean, I didn't notice anything new. They all seem to be things we mentioned last time.
Yeah.
But definitely the brightest day, the revival of those heroes was there. That was more clear. I'm trying to think some of the other stuff.
Yeah. No, everything was the same. I mean, obviously it was a dull page spread, so everything was a bit more easily noticed. But
is that John watching the Legion in the top right?
That was from the Oz Effect. That was in the issue where Oz told him, and we thought it was the Legion, but apparently it was this place where everybody can go.
Yeah. I remember it.
Because I thought the same thing you did, Connor. And I was like, "Oh crap! Is this a peak of stuff?" And then I was like, "Oh no, that was."
To come, yeah. But no,
that's how issue
right.
part 2.
I'm almost surprised that there wasn't like something in here we didn't recognise that was like a sneak peek of something planned, because it's the time stream. It could be something from the future. Why not?
But I almost feel like this is Tomasi and Gleason putting kind of a backdoor pilot for this Tim Drake character for Savior. I mean, they gave him a name, and a new point of view. He's not exactly a bad guy at the end of this. He sacrificed himself to save everybody. So I'm wondering if we're going to get some time shenanigans.
I don't know if I want a Saviour continuation, though. I'm kind of happy with him being left here.
I'm okay with it. I think it could be fun.
Yeah? Like a mini? Or, I'm
yeah,
down.
I don't think I need an ongoing.
No.
A mini sounds fun.
Oh, fair enough. I just I think he worked well enough for this story. I'm not a big fan of the name or the outfit. So.
I think that's why I'm inclined to think there is plans for him, because why give him a new name and a new outfit for just this?
That's fair. Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe. So the Titans of Tomorrow, they kind of quickly vamoosh. They're like, you shouldn't know too much about your own future. Bye bye.
They kind of drove me nuts because I was kind of like, they're here. How's this going to impact? And then they do the whole timey-wimey, you can't know too much. We have to go.
And Kid Flash gets a selfie, and Raven's not particularly pleased with his let's say,
he respond?
Levity of the situation, I guess.
Yeah. So she destroys his phone, and Wally's just like, I can just pull that from the cloud. It's not gone forever.
I like how he's just like, I'm good. He's not annoyed that his phone's destroyed.
Yeah.
He's like, that's cool. I'll get another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they end up. So Clark first takes Damien and John aside and tries to be like, I don't know if you two should be hanging around each other, because apparently Damien, you're going to lead to my son blowing up and killing a lot of people. Maybe we should not do this. And John, quite rightly, convinces him, no, we need to make our own choices, and we're going to be their future. And it's actually quite touching when Damien's like, no, I'll be there to protect him. I promise you, I'll protect John. And John's like, no, and I'll protect him too. It almost feels like they're really, they've been fun hanging around each other up until now, but this kind of feels like, no, they're actually forming the childhood version of the Batman-Superman relationship.
The world's finest,
Yeah. What's a fun way of saying it? The world's youngest. No?
Yeah. World's tiniest.
World's tiniest. Or the... I don't
world's
know.
funnest.
I don't know. Kids' finest. I don't know. Pick your wacky pun.
It doesn't really work that well, does it?
It doesn't. But you know what I was going for. You know what I was shooting for.
I know.
So that's the whole thing. And basically, the Titans want to have a meeting. And their tower's a bit, out of commission because John blew it up. As you do. Yeah. So Superman's like, hey, you can use the satellite. So he beams them all up to the watchtower. And I do kind of like that, Robin goes straight for the Batman. She's like, that's mine. Yep. Kid Flash takes Flash's chair. And then there's obviously a few of them who are like, Raven's like, I guess I'll take Cyborgs.
Well, I like that because...
we know they have that connection.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Okay, that one makes sense. All right.
And Beast Boy taking the Green Lantern one amused me as well, because he's green, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, some of them have a more actual connection, whereas the green one is just kind of almost a a joke. It's like, I'll take the green one.
Well, I'll take the green one.
And I like Corey going to Wonder Woman's. Like, that's cool.
She's kind of that role.
Yeah, that thematically makes a lot of sense. Yeah. We have all this, and basically Damien's like, and again, Damien, who was dead set against John being on the Teen Titans, is like, hey, I vote that we nominate John as a half member until he's 13, in which he'll become a full member. And Batman kind of shows like, give me a full report. So what are you doing? You're voting? Just vote. I don't care that you're still in the room. Just vote. Get it over with, done with. Time to get things done.
Get out of my chair.
Yeah.
Like that's how.
And no one raises their hand but Damien. And they obviously try and make him feel better, like, hey, John, like, it's not about you, it's about us. Clearly we have some issues to deal with and whatnot. And I'm like, I don't know, I feel like Aqualad's been on the team for like a month. Like this feels weird to say.
Flash just left and came back. Yeah.
It feels a bit weird in that sense. But they're all saying, no, like, we'll wait just now because you'll be a good member, but we have to sort our own stuff out. And honestly, the highlight of the book, and maybe the entire arc for me, might be this conversation with Damien and John at the end. That's maybe my highlight, which is Damien saying, "Hey, sorry about the vote. It's like, it's okay, and that's what partners are for." And then John says, "You mean friends, right?" It's like, "Oh, you just have to go ruin it," but sure. And it's actually the most touching I think the arc has been, and arguably their relationship's been. I mean, it's been great since it started. But been a big fan of their pairing since day one. Yeah. But I think for me, this is where a lot of the meat of the arc, because I think up until now I was enjoying the arc, and there was a lot of it was the fun blockbuster. Not don't think about it too much, just have some fun with the characters all bouncing off each other. The fun fight with Batman and Superman with future Tim was fun, and then whatnot. But the resolution was just kind of quick and whatever, and it was fine. But for me, this is where the real value of this arc came from, was their bonding, and Damien wanted to protect John. That's kind of what I've kind of loved about this.
Yeah, I agree. I like the art too. It was
it's really
Tyler
solid.
Kirkham. I think this is the most solid I've seen Kirkham. Like, I like the way he draws both Superman and Batman. So they feel like they have weight to them, and in a book like this where they're meant to be looked up to, like, I think that's super important.
I think it's a talent when you can frame it looking down on Superman and still have him fill the frame and look big and like you should be looking up to him instead. Because you obviously the easy way to do that is just frame it looking up at him, and that's the go-to trick.
You do a low angle, but no, here it's still.
Perspective matters, basically. But no, I thought the arc overall was a good fun time. I think it succeeds much better than obviously Lazarus Contract, which was very murky. Yeah. What was the other one we had? I'm sure there was another crossover with. Those
are the only Teen Titans crossovers.
I think I'm thinking of Reborn. I think that's the other one I'm thinking of. I might like this more than Reborn, actually, if I think about it.
I like the stakes in Reborn a little bit more.
This is a more complete story of what it's doing, because Reborn was always never about the story. It was just, okay, this is the end point that we want to hit, whereas this felt like it had a story.
The stakes were bigger in Reborn, and I like the stakes, don't get me wrong, but ultimately it became just a big giant kind of explaining what happened and then how it fixes it at the end. Whereas this felt like there was more of a new character sort of bond that's formed out of it, so it felt more like it had like a purpose, I guess, in terms of characters. Obviously there was purpose to Reborn, it fixed a lot of things and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
But that's the thing, it felt like it was there just to establish and fix things rather than actually being a story in itself, whereas this feels like a story first. And
it's pushed the characters forward and developed them, whereas Reborn, well, I liked it, it was kind of, okay, we have to tie off all these loose ends up and, take care of it, so...
But yeah, no, I thought it was fun. I mean, you get to see Bart, do his stuff too, and how he's different than Wally. I mean, they both kind of filmed the same space, like with the selfie. That's something Bart would have done.
Yeah, definitely.
And whatnot. So it just felt good to read.
I'd say regular Wally would as well, but Wally was a kid before the selfie existed, so
yeah.
As we know with smartphones, someone's going to be an asshole and be like, "Hey, in 1912, there's someone taking a photo of themselves." Yeah, I get the concept of a selfie has always existed.
Cameras and mirrors have always existed together. We get that, but it's not the same as a selfie. Like, come on, people. But no, I mean the art and the story both were a real big fan of. That double page.
I think the art.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think the art typically has been quite consistently good throughout the whole thing. I feel like there was. I think there was one issue where John had that ET neck. That whatever one that was a rougher issue, but typically it's been fairly solid.
Yeah, it's not been bad.
So, no, I don't know. It wasn't like the biggest thing ever, but it was a fun little crossover.
No, I almost wish this wasn't part 5 and it was just epilogue. You know, like because it wraps everything else up. There's no real.
Well, that's the thing. In the solicit is referred to just as epilogue, whereas obviously on the cover it does say, yeah.
Well, that makes.
But in here it calls it the finale of obviously the arc. So
I mean, it's kind of both. I mean, it's just really semantics at which point when.
Well, yeah, but I went in thinking like there's more to it, and it just wrapped everything up, and that's fine. The whole with Bruce when he wakes up battered. And Alfred's like, oh, it was just a dream. Like,
oh, that's kind of funny.
So that was fun.
I do actually. I think it will actually read better in trade almost because I think it does suffer a little bit when issue 4 is all action and it felt kind of just big and dumb because of it, and then issue 5 is all the emotional wrap up.
Yep.
And that's really good. I think when you read it as a whole and they just follow on from one another, it'll just read better.
Yeah, as a story, it's really strong. But as individual issues, it maybe suffers from that. But that's a common problem in comics.
Yeah, it's just something I have to deal with from time to time.